I spent $100,000 on this BMW M2 competition in Need for Speed Unbound. Let's take a look at the body kits for this BMW M2. We got the Speed Hunters kit and just a normal M Performance kit, which just seems to be a bunch of stickers. Now this Speed Hunters kit looks wild. So I'm not actually going to use the preset body kits and I'm going to make this myself. Now the spoilers on this game are very weird. You've got some huge wangs you can see here. You've got the Speed Hunter one, which is just weird. But personally, I think I'm going to go with a ducktail because the others are just a bit too much for an M2. Now I'm going to move on to the rear bumpers and there isn't any. Okay, let's move on to the bottom diffuser and let's take a look at these diffusers. Now some of them are a bit out there and a bit over the top, but I think once again maybe I'm going to go with the M Performance one. There isn't too much difference between this and stock, but I'm going to take the M Performance. Moving on to the exhausts. Once again, I'm a huge fan of the quad tip exhausts, but I don't think you can really have an M2 without having those quad tips. I mean, the dual tips are pretty cool. Anything that is huge and long just I do not like, but I think I'm just going to go with the basic M Performance tips here. Let's have a look what rear fenders we have. So we've got two Speed Hunter ones, both basically the same. They're kind of like a wide arch. However, one is like exposed bolts and the other one is just kind of hidden and nicely clean, tucked away. I might go with the clean tucked away one. I don't really fancy seeing all the little bolts on the side. So I'm going to take this clean one here. Now onto the wing mirrors. I mean, the wing mirrors in this game just look terrible, so I'm not getting any of those. Instead, we'll just go straight to the side skirts. I mean, these side skirts are kind of cool. Once again, I prefer the M Performance, but I feel like I'm just building an M Performance car at this rate. I'm curious to see what trims we have. Oh, so they're just like M Performance trims. Yeah, I don't really want any of those. For the front fender, I think it's most likely we're just going to have to go with the Speed Hunter one. I mean, some of these are pretty cool, but I feel like we've got the Speed Hunter rear fender. We need to match it with the front. The brakes and the brake disc I'm going to keep the same. However, I'm going to change the color of the brakes themselves to white. I really like these two sets of wheels. We've got the weds here and the other weds, both with kind of different numbers at the end. I think I'm going to go with these black ones. They look really good, and I'll get those on the front and the back. 21-inch rims, too much. We're going to go with 20. Now, I'm not really a fan of tire writing, but I think these Toyo tire one looks pretty cool, so I'm actually going to stick with these, and for some reason it's changed the size of my rims. Great. I've now done the rear wheels as well, so we've got front and rear wheels are done, so let's move on to the front of the car. No option for the headlights. The grille you can literally change from black to chrome, but I'm going to keep this one black. Front bumpers, we only have two options, Speed Hunters and the stock BMW, but I think the normal BMW one looks so mean. Out of these two front splitters, I'm either with the carbon or the Speed Hunters, but I think Speed Hunters will do. Canards are a yes. They only had a small little lip. Let's tint the windows black a bit. We don't want a fishbowl. And finally for the hood, I'm going to go with this Speed Hunters hood. This thing looks mean. Ride stance all the way down. I've got to slam that obviously. Slight bit of carbon to the front, and I'm going to leave the rear default. Why not get air suspension? Let's treat myself. So we've got to choose what colors next. Wait a minute. This green looks great. I think I'm going to go with a green actually. We're just going to alter that green slightly and see what we can come up with. Now personally, I think this green looks sick and this car is now looking mean and complete. All I got to do is do the performance upgrades to get it to S, and that is where I'm going to keep this. This is going to be my S-Class car. The BMW M2 is now a high S-rated car, and I'm going to be using this for the week 3 qualifiers. I think it's only fair we take it for a spin. Already I can tell you this car is pretty quick and it is really fun to drive. I've put it on a bit of grip. We can actually do some grip turning and it's actually really nice to drive, surprisingly. Let's start a race and see how well this car really does against some other S-rated cars. Now we got McLarens in here, Porsches, you name it, it's most likely in this race. A few Nissan GTRs. You know, I'm in an M2, so some of these cars are valued a lot higher than mine, but obviously I've got 100k worth of upgrades. However, this car is so fun to drive, I would highly recommend getting an M2 in this game. Let's see if we can get past this Porsche on the straight here. I mean, that Porsche is pretty quick, but I mean, we can cut around the edge off the track. It's not giving up the position, but we've made it past. Now we can chase down this Lamborghini up in front. I've just been chasing off this Lamborghini for so long, she really doesn't want to give up this position. However, I am going to take it with brute force. This is now my position on the last lap of the race, and hopefully I can take it all the way to the finish. Final corner of the race. Let's see if we can do a little drift around it with the grip. We can. It still works quite nicely. The grip is so good on this game. It's really nice that you can play grip racing and drift racing, but we have secured first place. If you guys enjoyed this video, it's a bit different to what I usually do, but drop down a comment and a like and I'll post some more. See you all very soon. Peace.